to you all to the Commerce Positivity lecture. In today's lecture, we will be totally discussing on the topic like meaning and the definitions of e-commerce, meaning and definitions of traditional commerce, the difference, what are the difference between e-commerce and the traditional commerce, and the elements of e-commerce applications. So let's start with the meaning or definitions of e-commerce. Simply we can say that the word e-commerce, as we can notice, the word e-commerce is made up of two different words, that is e and commerce here. The word e indicates the electronical and c represent the commerce. Commerce simply indicates the divisions of trades or productions which deal with the exchange of goods and services from producers to the final consumer. When we combine these two words, e and commerce, it's e-commerce. Well, e-commerce is a process. It is a process of buying and selling goods and services using the internet and the transfer of money and the data to execute this transaction. So, simply in conclusion, we can say that e-commerce refers to the purchasing, selling, exchanging of goods and services over computer network through which transactions or term of sales are performed electronically or through internet. So what is this traditional commerce? Traditional commerce involves the exchange of goods and services between two persons face to face. It is one of the oldest modes of payment of goods and services. Normally when we go to the shop and buy goods and services, normally we receive the goods and services and makes the payment. It's traditional commerce. Whereas when we buy something from the internet, it's involved in the e-commerce. E-commerce business can be done in four ways, like business to business, that is called B2B, business to customer, that is called B2C, customer to customer, that is called C2C, and the customer to business, that is called C2B. So, the difference between e-commerce and the traditional commerce. Meaning and definitions. The first difference. Normally, traditional commerce focuses on the exchange of a product or services through personal interactions. E-commerce totally focuses on the exchange of goods and services through the internet. Another difference here we have is that accessibility. Traditional commerce limited to server hour during the day. E-commerce can be accessed anytime, that is 24 hour. E-commerce can be accessed anytime, it's available 24 hour. Another difference here we have is that customer interface. Traditional commerce, customer interact with business with face-to-face in traditional commerce, whereas in e-commerce, customer use competing device to access and interact with business. Another difference here we have is that business scope. In traditional commerce, geographically limited to business locations, whereas in e-commerce, global business scope. Mode of delivery is another difference. In traditional commerce, it's instant, whereas in e-commerce, it's time consuming. Transaction process. Traditional commerce manual, whereas in e-commerce, automatic. Productions, physical inspirations. In traditional commerce can be done before purchase, whereas in e-commerce cannot be done before purchase. The last difference here we have is that mode of payment. In traditional commerce, we can make payments through cash, credit cards, check, and others. Whereas in e-commerce, we can do payment, credit, cash, where it's just transfer money through internet. Now, let's study about the elements of e-commerce. The first element here we have is that user-friendly. If your store is easy to navigate, you will have a greater chance of making sales from the start. The home page should inviting and encouraging visitors to click on product or categories of item they are looking to purchase. The search bar should be easy to find and quickly list all applicable items that are currently available for sale once the user type in their query. Another element here we have is that shopping carts and checkout process. Adding items to the shopping cart should be simple. Customers like to view what they have in their cart while continuing to shopping. To make sure you have a design functionality that make it easy. Don't confuse user during checkout. Keep things basic and value your customer time. Mobile compatibility is another element. Here we have mobile visit. In many cases now outrank desktop use, as 80% of all online agile own as smartphone. Your e-commerce site needs to be designed and built for all devices, not just for a personal computers or the laptop. Calls to action is another important element. We need to make sure to lead our customer to our site with call to actions that are specified to what we want them to do. Let's take one example. If we have a sales, our CTA button could be click here to save 20%. Image and description is another important element. Here we have when people are searching for a product to buy, they want to know all the detail about it before making their purchase. So, it is important to have professional qualities image of a product from multiple angles, view and event, content. Also, it is important to make the descriptions of item and details like size, color, textures, and many more. Customer support is another important element. Some sorts of customer supports need to be available. In case of any problem or questions, there are different types of customer supports like phone numbers, email, support online chat, and many more. The last element here we have is that security and privacy. To make the online website security, we need to make sure SSL, that is security stack layer, certificate is installed to encrypt data going and coming to the browser. We also need to have transparent privacy policy that tell our customer how their information is used on the web and by company. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I just hope you all understand the meaning or the definitions of e-commerce, traditional commerce, and the difference between e-commerce and the traditional commerce and the element of e-commerce. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care.